What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today when I talk to you on Lucid, I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause volatility in the stock price, what the technicals are saying, and everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So going into this upcoming week, a lot of eyes are going to be on companies' earnings. Couple big ones, actually quite a few big ones. So far you have Microsoft, Google, you have even UPS, Amazon, Apple, like a lot of the big names in the broader market are going to be talking on their earnings as well as giving future guidance. So it's going to be the future guidance that is going to either spook the market or give it a lot of optimism. And in the past, Apple has truly saved the broader market. There's been a lot of times, especially in 2023, the market is just completely tanking. Apple comes out with their earnings relatively good. That gives a little bit more optimism about the foreseeable future. And that is exactly what happened with Tesla. Tesla gave not necessarily the best future guidance, kind of alluded to several rate cuts, and is very much also their business and success is dependent on the Fed's cutting rates. So a lot of just what ifs. And Lucid right now, as it stands, which hasn't really performed the best, those what ifs cause people to panic so much more. And shorts, which technically we are at a record high for short interest, those people are just sitting back watching Lucid just kind of destroy itself. And that's very, very unfortunate because I still do really like Lucid. I've been doing quite a few options and a lot of them have been getting exercised. So I'm getting more and more shares. But behind the scenes, you just see lackluster performance coming from management. And then over and above that, this upcoming right here, Wednesday, the Feds are going to be giving their decision rate. I don't think anyone is going to be under the impression that they're going to be cutting this time around. Most likely it'll be May, if anything. But what is going to be said afterwards, so again, with the guidance, that is going to either make or break the broader market. So a lot of volatility is going to be in the foreseeable future for Lucid and just the broader market. And as of late, there was no actual news, but there was an SEC filing submitted in 8K after hours on Friday. And from my experience with some other companies, whenever you submit a 8K after hours, you're trying to brush it under the rug. So this was submitted at 4:14, and this ultimately did show that, I'll kind of zoom in right here. So it says on November 16th, 2023, Lucid unveiled the Lucid Gravity, a luxury sports utility vehicle, blah, 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 at the LA Auto Show. But ultimately, it does look like this was approved for a discretionary cash bonus to Eric Bach, and that is going to be in the sum of $1 million in recognition of his significant contributions to this milestone achievement. So I kind of get, yes, you have to give money when it's due and whatever else, but there's a lot of EVs that is garbage. That is just tanking. I do not see this justified. And I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I would really like to see performance linked to operational updates, because I get it. A lot of people just see the stock price and be like, oh my God, this is garbage. Like, what the hell? This has gone down like crazy. There is a difference between operations and the stock price. So keep that in mind, especially with shorts, like they can manipulate this very easily. But operations, I feel like there isn't even that big of success. Like their original projections for 2023 was supposed to be 49,000 vehicles being produced. They did 8. I do not see this justified. Then again, what do I know? I'm not a financial advisor. So what do you guys think about them giving Eric Bach $1 million just for, I guess, unveiling the Gravity and just the backing of that? So yeah, it's interesting. Then again, when it comes down to the Gravity, for any reason, if it is a flop, then I don't know, do we take this $1 million back? Because it's not really justified then, right? I feel like they should have waited until the Gravity's unveiling fully, and then just some actual opening of reservations just to see the demand before giving $1 million. Because as I've said, they recently announced with the phase 2 being completed, that was supposed to have been in Q3, transitioning from Q3 to Q4, right? Because they did state that there was going to be rolling blackouts, and that might cause some, I guess, production issues. But aside from that, though, I don't know if that's going to push the Gravity back a little bit more because it was projected for Q4, but I don't know. Again, this is just me speculating as of right now on what might be coming later in 2024. Just I do not like to see milestones being given for no real achievement in my opinion. But then again, whatever. Moving on though, going over shorts. Like I said, record short interest, 30.74% of the free float is being shorted. 272.13 million shares overall are being shorted. On Friday, they increased 1.37 million, and cost to borrow average is going up slightly, so 31.17%. But like I said, especially with it being at record highs, shorts seem to have found a ultimate money glitch, if that makes sense, or at least they feel like it is. Do you think that there's going to be a short squeeze ever? Because like I've said in the past, you need 4 points for a short squeeze. High utilization, a lot of shares being shorted, relatively high cost to borrow, and then the fourth is something that Lucid has always struggled with, and that is a surprise catalyst. There was a video that I played in my video yesterday that was more so coming from Saudi Arabia, where maybe Lucid Air might be a police vehicle. I feel like that would be a very surprise catalyst out of that, because let's say the PIF says, you know what, that 100, or I guess 50,000 initially up to 100,000 is all going to be majority police vehicles throughout the country or region or whatever. Like, that would be huge. That would probably cause a squeeze. Again, I feel like some people would be doubtful that Lucid could actually produce that amount. Just, I don't know. I like to stay optimistic with Lucid because I really do like the actual product. Just, I feel like 2024 is going to be the year that either makes or breaks Lucid. So there's a lot of pressure for management. When it comes down to the technicals leading into this next week, it is very poor, because right now it does have a pivot point of $3.48. This is the Elliott wave technical. A lot of people really do like that, but assuming it is below this pivot point, then it is anticipated to go to around $1.90 to $2.11. And as I've pointed out, the Elliott wave technicals over the last 6 months have been very, very accurate. So hopefully there's a nice good rally as a result of maybe Apple earnings or several other companies' earnings overall. But I really hope that it does not get down to this, because I've kind of indicated in the past, most likely they're going to need money in June of 2024. So dilution, because as soon as you get close to that $1 mark, it gets very sketchy. Because if it does break below that $1 mark, this is where you get down the rabbit hole of doing reverse stock splits, and it's really, really bad for shareholders. So let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. As far as options for this upcoming week, you do see some bearishness. So on Friday, there was around $381,000 in calls being purchased, 1.21 million in puts. Sentiment wise, 52% of all the options being done were bearish. And looking at the open interest for this upcoming week, you do see a consensus for it to be above $3. So this is all the open interest. So if it can close over 250, there's going to be 9,000 that does get exercised. So that could give a nice little bump up in the stock price. Similarly, 15,000 at that 3. If for any reason it is able to close above $3 by February the 16th, there is 30,000 in open interest. So that definitely will give it a nice bump up. As far as puts, you can kind of see based on the open interest, not much. So of course it's kind of anticipated to be below roughly about 3 or 250. So let me know your thoughts on that. Going into next week though, with it currently at $2.65, it is trading between this point right here, so the S1 and the pivot. So $2.58 is going to be that next strong support, and it has actually held fairly well over the last little bit. So again, that's something to kind of consider. And then $2.76 is going to be the next strong resistance. So I feel like Lucid does have a lot of good opportunity to go up. A lot of people are looking at it very, very closely, and you can tell that based on the volume as of late. Number of retail investors are starting to get back into Lucid, so that's kind of a good thing. I think big money is waiting for some concrete results from Lucid though, so a lot of big money is watching, not really ready to fully commit, like I've indicated in the past, because you can tell based on this, these are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. So just based on that, it has been going down over the last little bit. So like I said, big money isn't necessarily looking at Lucid in the long term. They're probably waiting for some concrete results from their upcoming earnings. Looking at stochastic though, you do see it at 18, so that is considered oversold. but you do see a deviation, so red line above the black showing a bearish sentiment. So what's your thoughts on Lucid for this upcoming week? Where do you think it's going to be for a price wise? Do you think it's going to be sub 250, or do you think it's going to go back into the threes? What's your viewpoint? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing, take advantage of this promo. Simply sign up for an account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and you get 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so take advantage of this. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, I appreciate all of you watching.